Welcome to No Longer Conformed. I'm Erik Garthe, and we are in class with Job. Lessons about life's issues. In this session, we'll be looking at Job chapter 30, verses 15 to 22. Perfect storm. Job's story is so full of pain that his name has been linked to suffering itself. Job's storm involved grief beyond description, physical pain that defied understanding, and a spiritual pain that might have been the worst of all. It was a perfect storm of emotional, physical, and spiritual pain. The God who could have prevented the suffering chose to allow it. The God who knew his faithfulness rewarded him with torture. Job's friends only added to his misery, and his wife didn't help. Let's read our passage, Job chapter 30, verse 15. Terrors are turned upon me. They pursue my honor as the wind, and my prosperity has passed like a cloud. And now my soul is poured out because of my plight. The days of affliction take hold of me. My bones are pierced in me at night, and my gnawing pains take no rest. By great force my garment is disfigured. It binds me about as the collar of my coat. He has cast me into the mire, and I have become like dust and ashes. I cry out to you, but you do not answer me. I stand up, and you regard me, but you have become cruel to me. With the strength of your hand, you oppose me. You lift me up to the wind and cause me to ride on it. You spoil my success. You lift me up to the wind and cause me to ride on it. If you've ever known disease, you've known the storm. If you've ever known grief, you've known the storm. If you've ever known betrayal, if you've ever been forsaken, cheated, or hurt, you've known the storm. The God of the universe, the one who the Bible tells us controls all things, the God who promised to love you always, he's the one who has allowed this to happen. Job was living out the worst days of his life, but right there in the middle of the storm, some of life's lessons became apparent to Job and for us. The first lesson: a storm of suffering may overwhelm you. Enemies had attacked. Job's financial portfolio had been wiped out. And worst of all, his children had been killed. Then his own health deteriorated to the point that he wanted to die. His friends arrived and announced that the entire thing was Job's fault. Confess your sin, Job. Maybe God will stop his attack against you. No matter how much you protest your innocence, Job, you know you deserve this. Come on, man up. What did you do to bring this on? This great storm sank Job down in discouragement and depression. When funerals start arriving for a family, they seem to come in bunches. After a few funerals, it's numbing, and the survivors begin to wonder who will be next. Or a person who has known only the best of health slams into a troubling symptom as if you've been hit by a truck. Then the tests, surgeries, treatments, and medical bills pile up, and thoughts of giving up come. Financial pressures can do the same thing to a person or a family. A job loss and debts pile up. A car or refrigerator quits just when there is no money to pay for repairs. When financial worry begins to build, changes are made and phone calls are avoided. It's kind of like running around, avoiding the storm, not sure where the lightning will strike next. It seems that only one more thing needs to occur before the entire family is sunk. David sang the feeling of unending pain. Psalm 13, oh, how long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? Joseph had a string of crushing disappointments. Though he rallied each time, Joseph struggled in emotional distress. Paul was so low at one point that he told Timothy, one man had deserted him and only Luke is with me. 2 Timothy 4:11. He'd been beaten, chased, arrested, scourged, caned, imprisoned, denied justice, and eventually shipwrecked. Though Paul had a great attitude and much faith, he knew real pain, the kind of pain that could overwhelm a person. The second lesson, a storm of suffering seeks to drive you away. Job was a great, great man of faith. He had been so faithful, he was the subject of conversation in heaven. Job 1:8, then the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? That there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, one who fears God and shuns evil. After the storm battered Job long enough, he had some serious questions. If God is in control of everything, why has he allowed such suffering? If God notes the faithfulness of one of his humans, why reward that faithfulness with such pain? Well, you see, pain is a powerful teaching tool. When the pain is severe enough or shocking enough, enormous change can take place. Thoughts of God can begin that were never thought possible. Sometimes life's most difficult circumstances lead to life's most enlightening moments. In the classroom of suffering, life's most important lessons can be learned. It was certainly that way for Job. Job longed to know God. He had brought the offerings. He had kept the rules, and he had a righteous life. And yet it was in his suffering that he met God in the deepest way. Job 40, beginning with verse 1. Moreover, the Lord answered Job and said, shall the one who contends with the Almighty correct him? He who rebukes God, let him answer it. And then Job answered the Lord and said, behold, I am vile. What shall I answer you? I lay my hand over my mouth. Once I have spoken, but I will not answer. Yes, twice, but I will proceed no further. And then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, now prepare yourself like a man. I will question you, and you shall answer me. Would you indeed annul my judgment? Would you condemn me that you may be justified? Have you an arm like God? Or can you thunder with a voice like his? Then adorn yourself with majesty and splendor and array yourself with glory and beauty. Job couldn't stand up under the weight of the questioning by God over the next couple of chapters. And once Job was ready to speak, he had a correct perspective. Job chapter 42, verses 1 through 6. And then Job answered the Lord and said, I know that you can do everything and that no purpose of yours can be withheld from you. You asked, who is this who hides counsel without knowledge? Therefore I have uttered what I did not understand, things too wonderful for me, which I did not know. Listen, please, speak to me. Let me speak. You said, I will question you, and you shall answer me. I have heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eyes see you. Therefore, I abhor myself and repent in dust and ashes. How many people connect with God only when they hit bottom? Job met God not by avoiding the storm, but by holding on to a thread of faith as he went to the center of it. God was revealed by the very storm that seemed to block us. The truth is storms come for all of us. What is Job's message? Look squarely into the center of the dark clouds and the raging storms of suffering. It is there that you will find God. You consider Job's suffering, the lessons that he learned, and seek to know God, to understand him. And you have a great day.